Hey there. Welcome back to the Food Freedom Podcast, where I talk about what it really takes to overcome food addiction, ditch that diet culture and mentality, and find lasting food freedom through real food and mindset change. I am your host, Coach Mary Roberts, and today I want to dive into a topic that stirs up a lot of emotions for many of us on this journey, and that is the scale. If you're someone who steps on the scale and instantly feels a flood of emotion, whether it's shame, discouragement, panic, or over the moon elation, you're not alone. I have been there, and I have coached many women who've built their entire sense of progress around, or their failure, around that little number on the scale. But I want to offer you a new perspective today. So let me just say it plainly. We give the scale way too much freaking power, way too much. And I get it. For a very long time, for most of my life, that number has been the one thing that I looked to for validation. You know, it tells us if we're doing good or bad, right? Like it lets us know if we're worthy or not, if we're on the right track, if we're going the right direction. And we let it decide whether we can feel proud of ourselves or whether we need to, continue to excessively restrict, or if we need to punish ourselves or go into a downward spiral. Here's the hard truth, though. That scale cannot measure your recovery. It can't measure your food sobriety. It can't measure your emotional growth, your physical healing, your self-control in a moment of struggle, or the fact that you didn't binge today even though you really, really wanted to. So the scale is just one piece of data. It's a tool, and it's an incomplete one at that. It fluctuates based on so many different things, whether we're retaining water, if we have inflammation, what are hormonal changes and fluctuations, that are happening, our gut health, so many things. Yet we step on it expecting it to give us some kind of like definitive truth about ourselves. But you are the truth. Your behavior, your mindset, the decisions you make, that's the real data that's worth tracking. So I'm going to ask you a question. What if you stopped chasing a number and started chasing healing and growth? What if we measured your success by how many days you've stayed food sober, how well you're honoring your hunger and fullness, or how much better you feel in your skin, in your brain, in your soul, and for vanity's sake, in your clothes? How do you feel? How about how many binges you've prevented, even if only by a thread? Because that's where food freedom lives. That's what a life of food sobriety is. I've had clients who've dropped 50 plus pounds or more without ever stepping on the scale because they were too focused on doing the work. That's what we should be focused on, doing the work. When we heal our relationship with food and nourish our body with real food, and we learn how to sit with our emotions instead of numbing them, and we look to fill our real needs, guess what happens? The weight comes off as a byproduct of the recovery, not as the focus. But I've also worked with women who lost weight but never found freedom because their obsession with the scale and counting macros and doing very specific exercise things kept them trapped in that mental prison that recovery is supposed to help us escape. So today I want to challenge you, put the scale in its place, stop letting it speak louder than your own body, louder than the progress you've made, and louder, than the healing, the physical healing that you've achieved. If stepping on it upsets you, stop stepping on it. It's as simple as that. Put that sucker away. Hide it. Have a sabbatical for at least 30 days. Like commit to not weighing yourself for 30 days. If the number affects your mood or your food choices, stop giving it access to your emotions. And I'm not just talking about the negative emotions, even when the scale says something that pleases us, we're still giving our power to the scale. We're letting it tell us that it's okay to feel good today about that number. I mean, I think we've all had that experience. Stepping on the scale and looking at the number and like, it's not what you expect. It's either the same or it's only, gone down what you perceive to be as like hardly worth a mention, or it's gone up. And so you let it like dictate the rest of your day. And on the same token, you could step on that scale and it gives you like a loss and one that pleases you immensely. And then you're on cloud 9 and you float through the day and you're so excited and you're so happy because the scale gave you permission to be. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that scale doesn't deserve the power that we give it. If you can't look at the number without spiraling or without having an emotional reaction, maybe it's time to take a break from weighing altogether. Like I said, put it away, hide it, have your husband stick it in the trunk of his car, whatever it takes to get it away from you. But here's the beautiful part, about the scale. Your worth was never supposed to be measured in pounds. We don't exist to be a number on the scale. We are allowed to walk in freedom, in purpose, in joy. And that starts when we stop letting the wrong things define us. So much undeserved attention goes to the scale. So listen, if this episode spoke to you, I would love for you to take a minute and share it with someone else who needs this reminder. And if you're not already in my Food Freedom Tribe, come over and join us. It's a safe space for women walking this journey toward food sobriety and real healing of their health. Thanks for listening. Keep going. You're doing better than you think. I promise you are. Until next time, stay free.